Sentry mode activated. Target acquired.
Hey there, hunters, and welcome back to the Gunners Guild. See, now it hasn't been on that long, huh? Anyway, Kolv update. Came with a lot of cool stuff, so let's just dig into this really quick. Starting with her armor, honestly, it's not as bad as some people make it out to be. It's got some solid skills and some slots for the most part. The problem with this armor and why most people aren't going to be using it is that we're kind of in a set meta right now. Now with Raging Bracky, Furious Rajang, Safi, True Spare Shot, 2 Crit, stuff like that, it's just going to be kind of hard to replace armor pieces without losing more than just the pieces themselves. You're going to be losing your set bonuses. So yeah, unfortunately we won't be using Kolv armor as far as I can tell. Kind of want to use those boots though. Maybe when Honey Hunters gets updated I could see if I can't shift some things around to min-max it, but no promises there. So next, we did get new layered stuff, which is fantastic. Basically everything can be layered, even unique weapon skins. Now with this, we got some weird looking parts we didn't have before, so like a lot of weapons can look like bolt action rifles. Bows are a bit boring, but that's just bows. But yeah, go check out the new weapon layers if you haven't. It's cool stuff. Okay, moving on to the actual gunner stuff. First, Kolv weapons do get custom augments, so they can get extra element raw, which is nice because their base stats aren't very impressive, but more on that later. Heavy bowguns first. All the raw on these bowguns are atrocious. The scaling from going high rank to master rank on these were so bad. They're like 40 raw under our current weapons. So yeah, Glutton did not get revived, and everything else is just blech. On the bright side of this though, crit element heavy bowguns are pretty solid upgrades. Safi 5-piece and the innate crit element on these is giving them some nice damage bonuses despite their lower raws. Previously, Namiel's heavy bowgun was the best thunder and water elemental bowgun by far. It's still good. Now the Khajar ice and water does about the same damage, maybe a little bit more, but it's also front loaded more on the elemental side, more so than Nami's, which had a lot more raw. So it's going to be a bit of a gain depending on the target. And the fire and ice heavy bowguns are just way better than the previous options. Crit element and not needing weakness exploit to get 100% affinity makes damage on these very consistent, and they're hitting for about 20 plus more per tick compared to the previous ones. So I know I just made a video saying that I wasn't interested in elemental heavy bowguns, so I wasn't going to be including them in the sets, but now I am. So here you go. Side note is I am actually using the ice heavy bowgun for Kolv runs, and it does some work. So let's move on to light bowguns. The main issues with these is not so much that the raw values are bad, it's that the clip sizes do not change from what they were in high rank, which was to be expected, but it's still a shame. So while they were adequate before, things like Decay and Rapid Fire Elemental Bowguns just can't compete with Safi and getting the clip size mod to boost their clip sizes to obscene levels. So sadly, Decay stuck at clip size 3 spread, and the Elemental Bowguns with innate crit element, they still have clip size 4, and it's just not going to cut it anymore. Now the outlier here is that the Khajar Thunder Light Bowgun has innate crit element, clip size 7, recoil 1, fast reload on ice ammo. So for single shot ice, it's definitely going to be the new go-to. There will be some ammo issues on hunts with this depending on the target, but it's still a big step up over the Barioth Light Bowgun or Rapid Fire Safi Ice. Assume you can get through a hunt without having to restock. Now we also got the return of Support Light Bowgun, so happy day. It's the same powerhouse as it was before, but it's now just better than ever. It's averaging about 25% more damage than the Defender Light Bowgun, which is already the best normal light bowgun, but man, this one is just wrecking face now. So yeah, definitely get this one upgraded. It's not going to get any better than this for the rest of Iceborne, I'm sure. There's not much else to say about it, it's the same as it was, just more raw. So that's about it for the light bowguns as far as I can tell, sadly. Only one real winner here. And let's finally get into bows. They are kind of a mixed bag here, but overall some nice upgrades. Let me preface the bow section by saying that you can make bow sets pretty damn similar. Everyone has similar sets with minor tweaks here and there, so just take them for face value and look at what the author was trying to do with them. We could do stuff like True Crit Element, Safi 5-piece, 3-piece Crit Element, 3-piece Bracky, Nami Safi, all sorts of stuff. There's a lot to try. Here's what I ended up with, and let's just go into this by element so it's easier to sort. So for Blast, the Khajar and Taroth Blast bows are really cool on paper, but they don't have power codes, and that really hurts. I'd be all over these things if they had them, but the best I can do with them is still going to be end up hitting for 6 or 7 less damage an arrow compared to Brackies, and I don't think the extra blast is really going to make up for it unless the monster has some obscene levels of HP. So I'm going to be sticking to Brackies for Blast, so unfortunately these two are not going to be included. For Fire, Kshara Fire is the new go-to for fire bows. Now you can build this in two ways, and most of the Kshara bows will be the same. The first is that you can go 5-piece Safi with innate crit element. Now comparing this to Safi Fire and the true crit element sets, we're going to be hitting for about 4 more damage per arrow. We also get free evasion skills and some extra stamina management. The other way we can build this is with Safi 3-piece and 2-piece Brachydios with Agitator 7 to focus more on the raw side. They end up doing about the same damage for the most part. There may be some specific matchups where you want the extra raw over the element. You're going to be losing some stamina management though and normal up, so it's going to be kind of up to you, but they're like within 1% effective DPS, so it's going to be your choice on your target, but feel free to try both or make both. I'll include both sets in descriptions. For water, the Kiar and Teroth water bows are sadly just not quite up to snuff. They have no power coats, and that really hurts. They're not going to be hitting anywhere near as hard as Safi water, unfortunately. So I can't really see a reason to use these, so I'm just going to pass on these ones too. For Thunder, okay, so here's where we're going to be making a slight detour. We're not using Kiar Spark, but instead we're going to be using the old Teroth Thunder. I know it needs free element, but we'll be using the true crit element set and still end up making better sets than Safi. It's going to be netting yourself about 3 or 4 more damage per arrow. It's surprising, I know, especially because we have to get 3 ranks of free element, but you know, it works out. It's a strong bow. Custom augments are everything with bows. For ice bows, we have another slightly interesting change. We're going to be using Kiar Ice with 5-piece Safi. The main difference here is that we're going to be losing a lot of raw compared to the old Safi Ice on true crit element, but we gain a lot more element instead. So depending on the hit zone, you may want to test this one out. Now if you go with 3 Safi 2 Brachy, that's going to help mitigate that raw loss. And again, they're going to end up doing about the same damage. It's just going to be depending on your target. So higher Ellie, go Safi, higher raw, go Brachy. Just make sure you know what you're using, what you should be hitting. For dragon bows, I mean, do we even use dragon bows? Seriously? Anyway, yeah, same thing here. We're going to be using Kiara Decay for dragon. You can go 5-piece Safi or 3-piece and 2 Brachy. The Brachy set ends up hitting for about 1 more damage per arrow on some of the targets I was testing it on, but on average, they're basically about the same. I prefer Safi just because it's more consistent with the extra stam surge and not having to rely on Agitator, but you know, you do you. So yeah, overall, bows got some nice upgrades, which is cool. Happy there. Heavy bowgun got buffs to elemental, which again, super nice. I'm glad that worked out. And light bowgun basically got support 2.0. Pretty happy with the changes though. Oh, also, so the cold fight in general, I like it. It's not a siege, it's just an event quest. It does scale single player and multiplayer. It skips the boring phase 1, and you get the killer. Just everything about it's better than it was before. Her new attacks are cool to look at. She's fast as fuck now. So yeah, I'm happy with this update. Just forewarning though, enjoy it while you can, because Arctemper Nominal is going to be cancer as fuck. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Good luck out there, hunters, and whatever you may be hunting.